do you think I do not see you? My beloved, do you think I do not feel the way your chest tightens in the middle of the night, how your mind keeps circling the same questions, never finding peace? I have watched your silence become heavier than your cries. I have heard the words you dare not say, the prayers you stopped speaking aloud because you thought I was done listening. But I am not done. I was never done. And I say this to you now, not in anger, but in love. We need to talk. There is something you've been carrying, something you've been afraid to name. You've buried it under productivity, under smiles, under praise. But it's still there, isn't it? The ache, the unspoken disappointment, the weight of feeling like you should be further along, like you should be more healed, more fruitful, more joyful by now. But child, I do not measure your worth by your speed. I do not define your progress by your visibility. I see what you've endured. I see how hard it is to show up to keep hoping when everything in you wants to give up. And I call that holy. You have fought battles others know nothing about. You've cried in bathrooms and held it together in boardrooms. You've poured yourself out and then wondered if anyone saw. I did. Every act of quiet obedience, every choice to love when it cost you, none of it was wasted. Not a single tear has been lost to the ground. I caught them all. I stored them like precious oil. And now I am ready to pour something new into your spirit, if you will let me. But we must begin with this one thing, this one conversation, this one moment of honesty. I don't need you to be perfect. I need you to be present. I need you to come to me not with your accomplishments, but with your ache. I already know where you're bleeding. I just need you to stop hiding the wound. My child, I am not angry with you. I am not ashamed of your weakness. I'm drawn to it. It gives me space to be who I truly am, your healer, your comforter, your deliverer. Come out of hiding. Take off the mask. Lay down the need to impress anyone, even me. I loved you before you ever impressed anyone. I called you mine before you ever got it right. This is not a message of condemnation. This is a rescue. This is the shepherd leaving the 99 to find the one. This is the voice calling you by name in the middle of the night, not to scold you, but to hold you. You have tried to silence that voice. You've tried to stay busy enough to outrun it. But tonight I'm sitting beside you and I'm not going anywhere until we speak heart to heart. So tell me the truth, not for me, but for you. Tell me what hurts. Tell me what you've lost. Tell me what you've been afraid to hope for. And then let me speak. Because I have more to say over your life than pain, than fear, than failure. I am still writing your story, and I do not write in pencil. Nothing and no one can erase what I have spoken over you. Stop running. Sit with me. I will not turn away. Do you remember the day you thought you were utterly alone? The moment you sat in silence, staring at the walls, wondering if anyone would ever understand what you were carrying. I was there. When no one called, when no one asked. When your phone stayed silent and your heart felt louder than ever, I was in the room. I was not absent. I was holding the corners of your breaking heart together while you kept pretending everything was fine. I watched you walk through those days without applause, without affirmation. You did not quit even when quitting seemed like mercy. You kept going, not because you felt strong, but because I was holding you. You didn't recognize it, but that strength, it wasn't your own. That breath you took after the breakdown, the moment you stood up again, that was me. I was in the stillness, not shouting, but whispering. One more step, child. I'm right here. You see, I do not only show up in the miracles. I show up in the mundane. I am in the routine, in the fatigue, in the long stretches of silence that test your soul. When the heavens seemed quiet, I was still speaking, just in a tone you were not used to. I was not far. I was forming something deep, something eternal. I was teaching you the sound of my footsteps in the dark, the weight of my presence when feelings fade. You were learning faith not by sight, but by stillness. And oh, how proud I am of you. Not for your achievements, not for your status. I am proud of the way you kept believing when belief felt like insanity. I am proud of the way you lifted your eyes even when your arms were tired. I saw the night you wept for someone else's breakthrough even when you hadn't received your own. That is the kind of love that moves heaven. That is the kind of sacrifice I honor with oil that cannot be bought. You have built altars with your tears. You have laid promises before me like Isaac, not knowing if I would give them back. And I will not forget. I never forget. I will reward what was sown in the shadows. I will breathe on what was offered in secret. You have not labored in vain. But now I want you to stop striving and start receiving. This is not the season to prove yourself. This is the season to let me reveal who I am in you. I do not want your perfection. I want your permission. Will you let me love you in your weakness? Will you let me minister to the places you don't talk about? Will you open the doors you've kept locked even from yourself? I know the way in. I've always known. And I am not afraid of your shadows. I walk through walls. I pass through pain. I am the door, and I am the light behind it. Let me in. Not just for a moment, but for a reformation. Let me rebuild you from the inside out. You are not too broken. You are exactly where rebuilding begins. You've been measuring yourself against giants, wondering if you could ever be enough. You've looked at others who seem more confident, more qualified, more put together, and asked quietly, "Why would you choose me?" But I need you to understand this. I did not choose you for your resume. I chose you for your availability. I do not anoint the most polished. I anoint the most surrendered. The ones I use might still stutter like Moses. They might still hide like Gideon. They might still weep like Jeremiah. But I breathe into their frailty and make it thunder. My power is made perfect in weakness, not in performance. I don't need your bravado. I want your heart. The tremble in your voice is not disqualification. It's confirmation that you know who the strength must come from. So let me say this plainly. You are enough, not because you've done everything right, but because I've already said yes to you. I, the Lord, have placed my hand on you. I've seen your nights of wrestling. I've heard the arguments you've had within yourself, and I say peace. Be still. You are not who your doubts say you are. You are not the echo of other people's expectations. You are mine. You are my warrior in the making. The battlefield I've assigned to you isn't always visible. Some of your greatest victories will be won in prayer, in silence, in decisions no one else will notice. But heaven notices. Hell trembles when you rise from your knees. Every time you forgive when you could have resented, every time you bless instead of curse, you're wielding a sword sharper than any man-made weapon. But don't be deceived into thinking that impact must look impressive. Remember David? He defeated Goliath not with size, but with surrender. His brothers looked the part, but I saw the heart, and I still do. You don't need to be loud to carry authority. You don't need a platform to shake the atmosphere. My spirit upon you is your platform. My favor upon you is your name being whispered in rooms you haven't entered yet. So stop disqualifying yourself in your mind. I'm not waiting for a better version of you to show up. I'm moving with you now. I'm working through what you call not enough. Even your flaws are being woven into the fabric of grace. Your story is not a liability. It's the proof that I redeem. Stand up in your spirit. Dust off the old labels. They no longer apply. What I have written over you is permanent. Called, chosen, covered, filled. That's your identity now. Wear it boldly. Walk in it daily. And when fear whispers, "Who do you think you are?" just smile and answer, "I am His." You think the silence meant I forgot you, but the silence was sacred. It was where I carved strength into your bones. It was where I taught you to hear my voice beneath the noise, to walk when no one cheered, to serve when no one clapped. That quiet place was not a punishment. It was preparation. I was not hiding from you. I was hiding you. I hid you like a seed in the soil, not because you were not ready, but because the world was not yet ready for what I've planted inside you. In the darkness, you grew roots. In the hiddenness, you developed the strength that won't crumble under pressure. Others may have sprouted quickly, but their fruit withers fast. You, my child, were made to last. I watched you when the lights were off. When no one saw your obedience, I saw it. When no one acknowledged your sacrifice, I recorded it. Heaven is full of your unseen offerings. Do not despise the days of obscurity. They were your training ground. Even David fought lions and bears before he stood before Goliath. The private victories gave him the courage for public battles. So it is with you. You have been asking me when, Lord, and I have been answering soon but solid. I am not sending you out shaky. I am sending you with oil that has been pressed through trials. You will not break under weight because you were broken in my presence, and I rebuilt you with eternal timber. You are not made of convenience, you are made of covenant. The silence refined your discernment. You've learned to recognize counterfeit comfort. You've seen what applause without anointing produces, and you've chosen me over momentum. That choice has qualified you more than any stage ever could. You carry something weighty now. You carry presence. You carry me. I'm sending you not with a strategy, but with surrender. Not with a script, but with the Spirit. You don't need to impress. You need to release. What I've placed in you is not meant to be bottled. It's meant to be poured. And when you pour, you will not run dry. Because I, the Lord, am your source. Not people, not platforms, not plans, me. So prepare. Not out of pressure, but out of reverence. Prepare your heart to carry what I'm about to entrust you with. This isn't just about influence, it's about inheritance. I'm calling you to be a well in a dry land, a voice in the wilderness, a lighthouse in storms others don't know how to survive. And you will shine not for your glory, but for mine. You think your quiet obedience goes unnoticed, that your whispered prayers get lost in the wind. But let me tell you something sacred, the heavenliest echoes are born in silence. When you said yes to me in private, it reverberated through the throne room. When you chose to forgive instead of retaliate, the angels took notice. I don't measure by volume, I measure by surrender. There are things I've built in you that no one applauded. That's on purpose. Because if people had praised you too soon, they would have taken credit for what I alone was doing. I've been weaving my glory through your small acts of faithfulness. I've been storing up the fragrance of your devotion like incense in golden bowls. And now it is time. Time for me to tilt the bowls. Time for me to pour out what you've stored in secret. But hear me clearly. I'm not pouring this out so you can be seen. I'm pouring it out so others can be healed. The reward for your silence is not fame, it's fruit. Fruit that will last. Fruit that will feed nations. Your yes has not only altered your story, it has become the doorway for someone else's freedom. You've carried burdens no one else knew about. You've stood between gaps others couldn't see. And I say to you today, you've stood well. Now stand and see. See what I will do with the seeds you've planted in tears. See how I will water them with grace and cause them to bloom in fields you never imagined. The field is white, and I am sending you in, not to strive, but to reap. You are my answer to cries that haven't been spoken aloud. You are the vessel I've been preparing for such a time as this. You will not need to promote yourself, I will do it. I will open the doors. I will set the appointments. I will align the right voices at the right time. Your job is not to chase influence. Your job is to stay in step with me. Let me remind you, I am not late. I am strategic. I have hidden you for impact, not neglect. I've preserved your oil so it would not evaporate in shallow spaces. Now I'm sending you with oil enough to break chains, to awaken hearts, to restore dry bones. And your voice, once overlooked, will become the very sound that stirs sleeping souls. So speak when I say speak. Stay silent when I say wait. Do not follow the crowd. Follow my cloud. Do not mimic their fire. Carry mine. The same flame that warmed you in the dark will now light the way for others. And you will not walk alone, for I go before you, and my glory will be your rear guard. The days of flickering are over. The days of dimming yourself to keep others comfortable, of second-guessing the fire I placed within you, those days end now. I did not light you to blend in. I lit you to blaze. You are a lamp on a stand, not a candle under a basket. And I will not let your flame be hidden any longer. You have tried to be small, thinking humility meant invisibility. But true humility is obedience. And obedience now means standing where I tell you to stand and shining with the full intensity of what I've poured into you. Not for your name to rise, but for my name to be lifted high through you. Not so they say, look at them, but so they say, surely God is with them. The light I've kindled in you has been tested. It's been through storm winds and crushing weight. It's been challenged by comparison, extinguished by criticism, and nearly smothered by shame. But it never went out, did it, because I kept breathing on it. In your lowest moments, I hovered over the embers, whispering, live again. And now what once flickered is becoming flame. I am calling that flame forward, not to perform, not to entertain, but to illuminate, to expose lies, to comfort hearts, to guide the lost. The world doesn't need another echo. It needs light. Pure, unfiltered, holy fire. And that is what you carry. You don't have to try to be it, you already are. You don't have to imitate others, you were forged uniquely in my fire. Do not be afraid of who you're becoming. This isn't pride, it's prophecy fulfilled. This isn't ambition, it's alignment. You're not stepping out of order. You're stepping into what I've ordained long before you took your first breath. And yes, it may unsettle some people. Yes, it may cost you circles and comforts. But this fire cannot be contained without damage. If you hold it back, it will burn within. Let it out, and it will light the way. You were not made to survive in shadows. You were made to transform atmospheres. Walk into the room with the light I gave you and watch darkness flee. You won't even have to speak sometimes. Your presence will carry the residue of time spent with me. Chains will break. Minds will clear, burdens will lift, not because of your charisma, but because of your consecration. So shine, my beloved. Shine without apology. Shine without restraint. You were born for this hour. You were crafted for this impact. The light in you is not seasonal, it is eternal. It's not circumstantial, it's covenantal. And I, the Lord, will guard it. I will fan it. I will make it burn brighter than you thought possible. Because this light is not just for you, it is through you. That trembling you feel, that unrest deep in your spirit that you can't name, it's not anxiety, it's awakening. It's not confusion, it's confirmation. You are not falling apart. You are being shifted. You've been living in a space too small for the calling I placed inside you. And now I'm expanding the walls. It's uncomfortable, yes, but it's holy. I am stretching you not to break you, but to fit the promise I spoke over your life. You asked for clarity, but I gave you movement. Because sometimes I answer prayers not with words, but with momentum. I started stirring the waters around you because I'm about to call you to step out of the boat. You were made for walking on deep things, not settling in shallow safety. That stirring you feel, that's me. That's my spirit inviting you out beyond what's predictable, into the mystery where miracles live. But hear me, child. This shift requires trust. You won't always understand the route. I won't give you the full map, only the next step. Because if I showed you everything, you might stay still, too afraid to move. So I am guiding you step by step, cloud by day, fire by night. You're not wandering, you're being led. I have gone before you. I've already marked the terrain. I've already prepared the people, the provision, and the protection. What feels uncertain to you is already settled in heaven. I'm not figuring it out as you go. I've finished it before you started. Your job is not to predict, but to proceed. Follow me even when the path looks unfamiliar. especially then. This transition is not punishment, it's positioning. I'm pulling you from places where you've outgrown the soil. I'm calling you into fields you didn't plant but are now called to harvest. You'll find favor there. You'll find peace there. But first you must leave the comfort of what's known. The cocoon must break for the wings to spread. So let the shaking come. Let the doors close that need to. Let the friendships fade if they no longer align with your assignment. I'm not taking from you, I'm making room. I'm not punishing you, I'm promoting you. And yes, it might come with a holy disruption, but better to be disrupted by destiny than delayed by comfort. You've cried over the unknown, but the unknown is where I do my best work. That's where faith flourishes. That's where the Red Sea parts. That's where manna falls. And that is where you will see me move in ways you've only read about. Lift your eyes. You are not lost, you are being launched. The shifting is sacred. The new is near. There is a reason things have been falling away. Relationships once familiar now feel distant. Doors you expected to open remain shut. Places that used to feel like home suddenly no longer fit. This is not rejection. This is realignment. I, the Lord, am pruning you not to punish you, but to prepare you. I am severing the attachments that cannot go where I am leading you. You've leaned on things for balance, but I am your balance now. You've looked to people for confirmation, but I am your voice. You've depended on routines for stability, but I am the rock that never moves. I'm stripping away the scaffolding so you can see the strength I've built within you, me in you, not beside you. I am not removing your support. I am revealing myself as your source. Yes, it hurts to lose what once felt secure. But would you rather have the illusion of safety or the reality of my presence? What you are losing was only temporary. What I am giving is eternal. Do not mourn the fading. Celebrate the unveiling. Because what's coming is not a replacement, it's a resurrection. I am removing the idols you didn't know you had, not idols of gold or carved stone, but the subtle one's dependence on affirmation addiction to control the quiet fear of not being enough unless you are needed. I see it all and I love you still, but I will not let those things enslave you. I want you free, completely free. You've said, but Lord, they were part of my journey. Yes, but not part of your destination. And I am jealous for where we're going. I'm not just writing a good chapter, I'm writing glory. I am forming something in you that will carry weight not just for today, but for generations. And that requires space, space that can only come when the old structures fall. So let them fall. Let what must go, go. I will not leave you empty-handed. I never subtract without multiplying. What I prune, I intend to make flourish. What I shake, I intend to settle stronger. This is not the end of your strength, it's the beginning of your surrender. And surrender is where true power begins. You won't always understand the timing, but you can trust my touch. I am the vine, you are the branch. Apart from me, you can do nothing. But with me, there is no limit. So cling to me, not to the season, not to the scenery, not even to the people who once held your hand. Hold mine. I will never let you go. This pruning is not personal loss, it's divine loyalty. I'm shaping you for glory. I'm freeing you to fly. You were never meant to merely survive. I created you to advance, to conquer, to tread on serpents and claim territory, not just with your feet, but with your faith. You were not born to shrink, you were born to stand. I, the Lord, have placed fire in your bones and courage in your veins. And even though life tried to suffocate it, the flame still burns. You felt weary like the fight is unending. But let me show you the truth. Every battle has forged something sacred. Every night of crying out has sharpened your discernment. Every moment you chose me over compromise has reinforced your armor. You are stronger than you think, not because of your strength, but because you have learned to lean on mine. My beloved warrior, the battlefield is not just out there, it's within. And you've been winning wars no one saw. You've resisted temptation when no one was watching. You've prayed when it would have been easier to complain. You've blessed others while your own heart was bleeding. That is the grit of glory. That is the evidence that I have been forming a champion within you. Now I am calling that champion forward. No more shrinking in the shadow of fear. No more second-guessing what I've already anointed. You have the authority of heaven backing you. The same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead lives in you. You don't walk into rooms empty. You walk in with legions of angels at your side. You don't speak from your wounds, you declare from your healing. But hear me well, this war is not against flesh and blood. It's against fear, shame, apathy, and lies. And the weapons I've given you are not carnal, but mighty through me. Worship is your war cry. Truth is your sword. Love is your armor. Peace is your shoes. You are fully clothed for this hour. You are not naked in this fight. You are covered in my presence. Do not fear the giants ahead. They look large, but I have already measured their fall. Like David before Goliath, your strength is not in numbers or stature, it's in the covenant. And I, the Lord of hosts, am with you. My roar is louder than their threats. My hand is swifter than their attack. And my victory is certain, not possible. You've been trained in silence, now you will triumph in the Spirit. The enemy thought he had broken you, but he only bruised what I've now healed. And your scars, they shine, they testify, they terrify the darkness, because they scream, this one belongs to God and nothing will stop them. Get ready. The trumpet is sounding in the heavens. The time for hiding is over. The time for holy warfare has come, and I will go before you with fire. Don't believe for a second that I watch from afar as you pass through the heat. I was not distant. I was not waiting for you on the other side. I was in it with you. I was the cool breeze in the furnace, the fourth figure in the fire, the whisper that kept your soul anchored when everything else melted away. I, the Lord, did not abandon you to the flames. I revealed myself in them. You may not have seen me clearly then, but look back now. Who held your sanity when your thoughts betrayed you? Who cradled your hope when despair threatened to drown it? That was me. I wasn't just near, I was intertwined with your very breath. And that's why you're still standing. Not because the flames were weak, but because my presence was stronger. Fire doesn't frighten me. In fact, I use it. I use it to refine, not to destroy. To burn away the layers that kept you from seeing who you truly are in me. To consume fear, pride, self-reliance, and every lie the enemy fed you. What emerged from the blaze wasn't a victim, it was a vessel. Stronger, purer, undeniably marked by heaven. I know it hurt. I know the smoke choked your vision at times. But nothing was wasted. The ashes beneath your feet are sacred. They're the ground where new things are born. What you thought was the end was actually an altar. What you feared would break you has baptized you in purpose. And I'm not done yet. You see, I don't just visit the fire, I lead through it. Just like I did with the Israelites, I guide by cloud and by flame. Because there are revelations only fire can bring. There are songs that can only be birthed in suffering. There is a closeness that only pain can carve out. And that closeness, my child, is your treasure. Others may not understand your journey. They weren't in the furnace. They didn't see how I sustained you, how I wrapped you in glory when all else was stripped away. But that's all right. What I've done in you is eternal, not for applause, but for authority. You now carry what cannot be taught, only encountered. So do not resent the fire, revere it, for it became the place of divine encounter. And know this, every flame that licked at your soul has now become the very torch I will use in your hand. You are not charred, you are charged. You are not burnt, you are branded. With my name, with my spirit, with my mission, Go forth now with the fragrance of fire and the fearlessness of one who knows if God is in the fire, then even hell cannot win. I saw every tear, not one slipped through my hands. When you wept alone and wiped your face before anyone could see I was watching, not as a spectator, but as a father, I collected them. Yes, even the ones that fell in anger, the ones born from confusion, the ones spilled over disappointments you never voiced. My child, your tears have never been wasted. They were offerings, sacred wordless prayers that I've turned into seed. You see, I don't overlook grief, I water it. I transform sorrow into songs, mourning into movement, pain into power. What you thought would drown you became the very river I used to transport you into promise. Those nights of aching were not delays, they were divine deposits. Heaven has been tracking your heartache, and now comes the harvest. I am not a God who forgets. I, the Lord, remember. And what I remember, I redeem. What I redeem, I multiply. What I multiply, I use to reveal my glory through your life. That brokenness, I've made it bloom. That emptiness, I've filled it with oil. You are not barren, you are bursting. You are not dry, you are drenched in the fragrance of resurrection. The places you cried, never again overwatch me, revisit them with purpose. Watch me bring fruit from the very soil you once cursed. You will eat from vineyards you did not plant, rest under trees you thought had died. What was buried is now rising. What was stolen is being returned, pressed down, shaken together, running over. I don't need ideal conditions to bring forth miracles. I specialize in the impossible. I don't wait for sunny skies, I speak in storms. And just like I spoke over the valley of dry bones, I now speak over your memory, your sorrow, your seasons of silence. Live again. Lift your eyes. You're entering a season not of striving, but of reaping. Not of explaining, but of experiencing. You will no longer labor in the shadows. You will laugh in the light. You will not be defined by what broke you, but by the one who rebuilt you. I, the Lord, am your restorer. And restoration is not returning to what was. It's becoming what I originally dreamed when I formed you in the secret place. So let the tears come if they must, not of grief, but of glory. For you are standing at the edge of a field I've prepared in secret, now ready to be revealed in fullness. And every step you take will be soaked in the evidence God was here. You've asked me, why did I have to go through that? And I've heard your heart whisper, what was the point of all this pain? My beloved, I did not cause your wounds, but I have claimed them. I have placed my hand upon them, and now I am turning them into holy weapons, vessels of healing, bridges of empathy, wells of compassion. What once broke you is now the very place my glory shines through. You do not carry scars to prove your survival. You carry them to release my salvation into broken places. You've walked through betrayal, now you understand loyalty. You've faced abandonment, now you carry my abiding presence. You've wept in silence, now your voice carries the oil of comfort for those who suffer in shadows. Nothing I've allowed has been wasted. I'm the God who recycles ashes into beauty. Others see the surface, but I see the story. I know how many nights you held your breath just to keep from breaking. I know how many days you smiled while bleeding inside. And now from that very place I will send a river. You will lay hands on the wounded with hands that once trembled. You will speak freedom with a mouth that once knew silence. You will walk boldly into rooms you once feared because now you walk with me. This isn't about pretending the pain didn't happen. It's about proclaiming that the pain didn't win. I am the one who turns graves into gardens, wounds into wisdom, sorrow into strategy. And I have placed within you a key, one that unlocks the hearts of others who still sit in chains. Your authenticity will be your anointing. Your history will be your harvest. I did not choose the polished, I chose the poured out, the broken, the mended, the ones who know that without me, they are nothing. And you, My child are one of them. That's why I trust you with this mantle. That's why I've been so intentional in your process. Because what you carry is not a theory, it's a testimony. So stop hiding your scars. Show them. Let them shimmer with my healing light. Let them speak without words. This is what the Lord has done. Let the places where you once bled become altars of mercy for the hurting. And when they ask, how did you survive, point to me, always me. For I am the great physician, and through you I will bring healing not with sterile gloves, but with sacred love. You are not just healed, you are a healer now. You've waited and waited and waited. The calendar pages have turned, the seasons have changed, and still you wonder, Lord, when you've seen others receive, others rejoice, others reap, and you've smiled with them even as your heart whispered, but what about me? Let me speak this into the depth of your soul. I have not forgotten you. I, the Lord, do not delay. I prepare. My timing is not late, it is layered. While you thought I was still, I was stitching purpose behind the curtain. While you felt ignored, I was gathering the right voices, aligning the right moments, preparing the perfect conditions for what I promised. If I had moved when you wanted, you would have missed what I had in mind. My child, I am never in a rush, but I am always on time. You've called it waiting. I've called it weaving. Weaving strength into your spirit, wisdom into your discernment, and roots into your faith. Do not curse the slow days. They were sacred. Do not despise the unanswered prayers. They were protection. I don't withhold to punish, I withhold to perfect. And now the cloud is moving. Now the season is shifting. Now the door is beginning to open, not by force but by favor. This delay was not denial, it was design. Because what I'm about to place into your hands isn't light, it's weighty. It carries responsibility, legacy, and eternity within it. And I had to be sure that when I gave it, you would hold it with reverence, not restlessness. That you would recognize it as holy, not just helpful. That you would steward it as a trust, not a trophy. So now I say to you, prepare your jars. The oil is coming. Prepare the nets. The harvest is near. Prepare your heart. The promise is at the door. You will not miss it. You will not be passed by. What has your name on it cannot be claimed by another. I have written it in my own hand, sealed it with my own breath, and ordained it for this very hour. Lift your chin. Breathe again. Believe again. For what you've waited for is not just coming, it's already in motion. You are stepping into days where fulfillment and faith will finally collide. And when it arrives, it will feel sudden to others, but not to you. Because you've been carrying the expectancy, cradling the hope, guarding the word I gave you when no one else believed it. You are not behind schedule. You are right where you need to be. The page is turning and the next chapter has my fingerprints all over it. Get ready. It's time. This is not just a season of waiting. It is a season of unveiling. And now I, the Lord, stretch out my hand and turn the handle. The door you've knocked on in tears. The door you've sat beside in silence. The door you've anointed with prayer and surrounded with praise. That door, yes, that one is swinging wide. And it will not creak open timidly. It will burst with the sound of heaven's yes. This is not a door you must force. It is not one you must scheme for or manipulate open. I open it, not man, not luck, not status. I alone hold the keys of David. And when I open, no one can shut. Not jealousy, not fear, not delay, not even your past. What I open for you, I seal with covenant. And what I seal, no weapon can undo. I'm not opening this door for your comfort. I'm opening it for your calling. It won't lead to ease, but it will lead to impact. On the other side is territory I've assigned to your voice, lives that await your obedience, breakthroughs that require your yes. And as you step forward, every enemy that once taunted you will scatter. Because I go before you, and my favor is your escort. You've been faithful with little. Now I entrust you with more. But don't let the magnitude intimidate you. This door may feel too big for your shoulders, but it fits your spirit perfectly, because I designed it according to who you are becoming, not just who you've been. And as you walk through it, you will feel the weight of destiny settle not as a burden, but as a mantle. Do not hesitate. Do not second guess. The doubts that rise now are the last flares of a defeated enemy. He knows what's on the other side. He knows that once you cross, everything changes. You become a threat to darkness, a beacon of light, a living testimony that my promises do not fail. I have gone ahead. I have cleared the path. The hinges are loosened. The threshold is anointed. All that remains is your step. Take it, with trembling hands or with trembling heart, but take it. This is the moment heaven and earth have been groaning for. This is the unveiling. This is access. And when you walk through, don't look back. What's behind you cannot come. What's ahead of you is holy. Welcome it. Carry it. Declare it. The door is open and it leads into glory. I am the Lord who restores not in fragments, but in fullness. I don't merely return what was stolen, I repay with interest. I don't just rebuild what was broken, I expand it beyond recognition. The season of lack is coming to a close, not because you've earned your way out, but because my covenant demands restoration. What the locust devoured, what time eroded, what people took, watch as I bring it back multiplied. You thought you lost years, but I, the Lord, redeemed time. You thought that love was gone, but I breathed life into bones. You believed that the dream had died, but I never buried it. I planted it, and now the harvest is ready. Not a replica of what was, but a revelation of what always should have been. Not a patchwork of past seasons, but a garment woven with threads of divine promise. I know how long you've waited, how many times you lowered your expectations just to avoid the pain of disappointment. But this is not a time for small prayers, it's a time for surrendered wonder. Ask big, expect wide, for I will do exceedingly abundantly above all you ask or think, not because of your perfection, but because of my nature. I am Jehovah Jireh. I provide not scraps, but overflow. You'll find joy where you once grieved. You'll find clarity where you once wandered. You'll find strength where you once crawled. And you'll find me standing in the midst of it all, not just as comforter, but as commander of your breakthrough. The shift will be undeniable. Those who once pitied you will see the evidence of my hand and say, surely the Lord has remembered them. But do not let the restoration become your focus. Let it become your platform. For I am not restoring you just for you. I'm restoring you to restore others, to lift, to bless, to declare, to pour. What I place in your hands is not just for holding, it's for releasing. I'm raising you up as a well of mercy in dry places, as a voice of healing where trauma has silenced, as a testimony that says God doesn't just fix, He transforms. This is more than payback. It's promotion. This is more than compensation. It's commissioning. I am setting your feet on solid ground with new authority, new perspective, and a new song. One that cannot be silenced because it has been forged in both fire and favor. Prepare your heart. The days of mourning are giving way to the days of marvel. And you will not only taste restoration, you will become the living proof of it. You've walked through nights where even your prayers felt like echoes. You've cried out, but heaven seemed silent. You looked for signs, but only shadows answered. And in that darkness you began to wonder, has God left me? But hear me now, my child. I was never absent. I was silent on purpose. Not to hurt you, but to train you. Because those who walk by sight may stumble, but those who walk by faith will never fall. I was teaching you to trust what I said, not what you saw. I was sharpening your ears to hear the whisper of my voice when the world was too loud. In the silence, I was separating noise from truth, emotion from conviction. That darkness wasn't punishment, it was preparation. Because those who minister my light must first be acquainted with the night. I watched as you kept worshiping with tear-stained cheeks. I saw your lips speak gratitude while your heart felt hollow. And I called that holy. That kind of faith, the faith that worships without reward, that believes without proof, that is the kind that moves mountains. That is the kind I build legacies upon. You see, the enemy thought the silence would break you, but it made you seek me deeper. He thought you'd give up when the lights dimmed, but you discovered that I glow even in shadows. And now you know me not just as provider, but as presence. Not just as miracle worker, but as companion in the cave. I've marked you in that place. And now when others cry out in their darkness, you won't offer cliches, you'll offer comfort. You'll say, I've been there and God was with me. You'll be the light bearer not because you avoided the night, but because you carried me through it. There is power in your midnight. There is oil in your obscurity. What was hidden in pain is now being revealed in power. I will use every quiet hour to amplify my voice in you. The darkness tried to conceal you, but it only revealed me in you. So no, you were never alone. I was the stillness when the storm ceased. I was the breath when you could hardly inhale. I was the thread holding your mind together when everything else frayed. And now I'm bringing the dawn. The first rays of promise are breaking. The birds are beginning to sing again. And your soul is about to dance in the morning light. You'll never fear the dark again, because you've met me there. You've asked me for blessing. You've longed for increase, for open doors, for divine opportunities. And I have heard you. But more than preparing those things for you, I've been preparing you for them. For what good is the promised land if the heart entering it still lives in Egypt? What good is the crown if the character beneath it is not yet whole? My child, I do not give weighty things to hands still learning how to carry surrender. The delay you felt was not punishment, it was preparation. I've been deepening your roots so that when the winds of favor blow, you will not be uprooted by pride or pressure. I've been stretching your capacity so that when overflow comes, you will not burst under its weight. I've been refining your motives so that when you speak, it will be for my glory, not your applause. You thought I was holding back the blessing. No, beloved, I was holding back the breaking. I am more concerned with your becoming than your arriving, because when you arrive rightly, you won't lose what I give you. And more importantly, you won't lose me in the blessing. That is my highest priority, that your success never separates you from my presence. Look back and see I was forming resilience in your waiting, teaching wisdom in your wandering, building humility in your battles. Now as the season shifts, you will begin to see the fruit. And you will know every hidden day was not wasted. Every surrender was seen. Every time you chose obedience over comfort, heaven recorded it. But hear me clearly, the blessing will not define you. I do. The platform will not validate you. I do. The favor will not protect you. I do. Never trade the giver for the gift. Never place your identity in outcomes. Keep your eyes on me. For I am the same whether you are in the pasture or the palace, the valley or the mountain, the silence or the song. And now walk forward. Not timidly but trained, not hurried but holy. You are not who you were. You are no longer the wounded one, the wondering one, the weary one. You are the prepared one. You are the trusted one. You are the one who will carry the next measure of my glory, not with arrogance but with awe. What's ahead is real. It is rich. It is radiant. And it is ready. But most of all, it is yours because I have made you ready to receive it. From the very beginning I saw you. Before your victories, before your failures, before your name was ever praised or forgotten, I saw you and I chose you. Not because you were the strongest or the most qualified or the most consistent. I chose you because I delight in using the humble, the broken, the ones the world overlooks. I, the Lord, do not call the perfect. I perfect the called. You've looked in the mirror and wondered, why me? You've listed all the reasons you think you're not ready, not worthy, not enough. But my choice was never based on your resume. It was based on your surrender. What I can do with a yielded heart far surpasses what human ability can achieve. You gave me your yes, and that yes moved heaven. The enemy has tried to shame you out of your calling. He's whispered, if people knew your past, they wouldn't listen. But I say to you, your past is not your prison, it's your pulpit. Every place of pain has become a platform for my mercy. Every failure that once made you hide is now soaked in redemption and made powerful by my hand. I have anointed your weakness, yes, your weakness, because in it my strength is made perfect. The world honors performance, I honor obedience. The world seeks credentials, I seek hearts that tremble at my word. And you, my child, have trembled. In your private moments, in your secret struggles, you've clung to me even when everything around you fell apart. Now I will raise you up, not as a monument, but as a messenger. One who doesn't boast in their greatness, but in my grace. One who walks lightly, not proudly. One who lives to reflect me, not replace me. Your scars will speak louder than sermons. Your quiet faithfulness will shake more ground than noise ever could. So stop comparing. Stop disqualifying yourself. I have already qualified you with my blood. I have already set you apart with my spirit. You are mine, not for a moment, but forever. And what I've begun in you, I will bring to completion. I am not looking for a flawless vessel. I am looking for a willing one. And I have found that in you. Walk forward, not with the weight of self-doubt, but with the wind of my affirmation. You are chosen. You are sealed. You are sent. There are things you've been holding on to, not because they still serve you, but because they once did. They were meaningful in a past season, necessary for your survival, even sacred in your growth. But now, my child, they have become weight. And I, the Lord, am asking you to release what once felt right, so I can give you what is truly righteous. You cannot step into the new while clinging to the old. The wineskin that carried yesterday's anointing cannot contain tomorrow's outpouring. If you keep reaching for what was, you will miss what is being made. And I am doing something new, not slightly revised, not mildly improved new. Entirely different. Entirely holy. Entirely me. I know it feels hard to let go. Familiarity is a soft prison. You've grown comfortable in the patterns and the roles and the stories you've told yourself to feel safe. But I did not create you to survive in cycles. I created you to soar in covenant. This is not a demotion, it's a divine disruption, a sacred invitation to step into the unknown where my spirit leads without maps. Let go of the relationships that drain but never pour. Let go of the habits that numb but never heal. Let go of the mindsets that protect but never propel. I am not calling you to lose your identity. I'm calling you to discover your true one, the one hidden in me. The one that doesn't fear change because it trusts in the changeless one. Yes, it may hurt. Yes, it may feel like death. But even Jesus had to release his breath before resurrection. Even Abraham had to walk away from Ur before he saw the promise. Even the disciples had to drop their nets before they followed. Letting go is not failure, it's faith. And I honor faith like that with glory that cannot be shaken. I will not leave you empty. As you open your hands, I will fill them with what's better. As you make room, I will pour out what is fresh. As you surrender, I will establish. And what you feared you'd lose, you'll discover you never needed. Because what I give, no one can take. What I plant, no storm can uproot. What I anoint, no man can undo. It's time, not tomorrow, not when it feels safer. Now, release the old. Grieve it if you must, but do not resurrect it. What's ahead is so much greater. Trust me. I wrote it that way. You've fought long enough in your own strength. You've analyzed, strategized, cried, and pushed. You've exhausted your resources trying to fix, control, and hold together what was never yours to carry alone. Now I speak this truth to your spirit. Lay it down. This battle is not yours, it is mine. And I, the Lord, am a warrior who has never lost. You see chaos, but I see the end from the beginning. You feel overwhelmed, but I stand above it all unshaken. You are drained, but I am the well that never runs dry. My child, stop striving. Stop wrestling with shadows. Stop building walls around your heart to survive what I've already conquered. This is the moment where faith becomes surrender, not performance. When you release it to me, you release it into victory. I don't need your strength. I need your surrender. I don't need your brilliance. I need your belief. The sword in your hand was never meant to replace the hand of your Savior. Put it down. Kneel in trust, not in defeat, for what feels like giving up is actually rising up in my power. Remember what I did at the Red Sea. I didn't ask Moses to swim. I asked him to stand. And as he obeyed, I made a way where there was no way. Remember Jehoshaphat, how he sent singers ahead of soldiers, and the praise broke the enemy lines. So too I ask you now, sing in the silence. Stand in the storm, trust in the tension, for your deliverance is near. The enemy would love for you to believe that letting go means losing. But in my kingdom, letting go is how you win. It's how you come into alignment with heaven's strategy. It's how you make room for miracles. The burdens you've carried are not proof of faithfulness. They are invitations to finally fall into my arms. I'm not calling you to abandon hope. I'm calling you to anchor it in me. I'm not asking you to ignore the pain. I'm inviting you to place it in nail-scarred hands. I am not indifferent to your tears. I bottle each one. And now, as you release the burden, watch as I release the breakthrough. The heavens are moving. The angels are dispatched. The tide is turning. You will not need to fight in this battle. You need only to be still and see the salvation of the Lord. Now, breathe. Lift your eyes. The victory is already written. There comes a moment in every story when the page must turn. And this, yes, this is your moment. I, the Lord, am drawing a line not in ink, but in spirit. The season behind you was necessary. It refined you, shaped you, burned away what could not come with you. But now it is finished, and I am ushering you into what eyes have not seen and ears have not heard. Do not cling to the ashes. Do not mourn what I have removed. I do not prune without purpose. I do not close without opening. And what I open, no man can shut. This new chapter is not a continuation. It is a new beginning. I am rewriting your narrative, not erasing the pain, but redeeming it into glory. The wilderness was not a punishment. It was a classroom. You learned to hear me in dry places. You discovered peace without circumstances. You saw manna fall and water flow from rocks. And now that you've graduated with perseverance and praise, I'm leading you into promise. Not just land, but legacy. Not just breakthrough, but building. I am breaking the cycles that bound you. Cycles of fear, shame, self-sabotage. I'm silencing voices that always said almost, but not quite. I am closing doors to delay and opening gates of acceleration. The pace is about to change. The wind is about to shift. What took years before will take months now. What drained you before will now empower you. But remember, the new requires new wineskins. I am asking for your full attention. No more partial surrender. No more delayed obedience. This move of God cannot ride on old routines. It demands intimacy, immediacy, and integrity. Walk closely. Stay soft. Move when I move. Speak when I speak. Rest when I rest. The people who counted you out will be surprised. The places that once rejected you will welcome you with favor. The dreams you buried in silence will rise with fresh power. And you will not be returning to what was. You are becoming what I always intended. You are not just stepping into a new season. You are stepping into your original design. So do not fear the ending. Endings are birthplaces of miracles. What I birth, I sustain. What I ordain, I protect. And what I begin, I finish. This chapter will be glorious. and you will walk in it not as a victim of your past, but as a vessel of my glory. Welcome the new. It is here. I am here. There is a reason your heart cannot settle for ordinary. A reason your spirit groans when you try to shrink, conform, or blend in. It's because I, the Lord, have placed eternity within you. I did not call you merely to exist. I called you to radiate, to shine not with human charisma, but with the indwelling fire of my spirit. You were never meant to carry influence. You were meant to carry my presence. I am not beside you like a distant guardian. I am within you as a consuming flame. Every word you speak from obedience releases my fragrance into the atmosphere. Every act of mercy becomes a seed of heaven planted in the earth. You are my living temple, not built by human hands, but sanctified by grace. And I, the Lord, fill what I consecrate. You've underestimated the power that flows through your yielded life. You've believed the lie that impact belongs to the loud, the platformed, the praised. But I say to you, even the quiet ones, the hidden ones, the rejected ones, I use them to shake kingdoms. I use them to turn hearts. I use them to confound the wise. And you, my beloved, are among them. The world is darkening. But you are not called to curse the darkness. You are called to light it. You don't need to shout to be seen. You need to burn. Burn with purity. Burn with truth. Burn with compassion. When you walk into a room, the atmosphere should shift not because of who you are, but because of who I am in you. Do not dim yourself to make others comfortable. Do not silence the truth to maintain peace. I am not raising you to fit. I am raising you to confront. With gentleness, yes, but also with unshakable authority. The authority that comes not from titles, but from intimacy. The kind the early church carried, the kind that turned cities upside down, the kind that broke chains in midnight prisons and healed shadows on the streets. You are a carrier of revival, not because you asked for it, but because I assigned it to you. Revival is not in the events, it's in the vessels. And you are one. You are a flame in a cold world, a melody in a noisy age, a signpost pointing not to your greatness, but to my glory. So rise in boldness, move with reverence, speak as one who has heard from heaven, love like one who has been loved by me. Because the days are urgent and the world is watching, and I have chosen you to reveal myself through. This is not an emotional high. This is not a fleeting inspiration. What I've started in you is not built on shifting sand. It is anchored in my eternal purpose. The fire you feel, the stirring in your bones, the dreams that keep waking you up at night, they are not random. They are seeds of destiny watered by my spirit, guarded by my hand. And I, the Lord, will bring them to full birth in my perfect time. Don't confuse delay with denial. I am not slow. I am strategic. Every moment you thought was wasted has been woven into my plan. Every battle you survived, every betrayal you endured, every door that slammed shut, none of it was in vain. I've been building not just the outcome, but the inner life required to sustain it. For what I construct is not hollow. I build for eternity. The fire in you will not go out. It may flicker in moments of weakness, but I am the one who fans it again. I am the keeper of the flame. You don't need to manufacture passion, you need only to remain close. The branch does not strain to bear fruit, it simply abides. So abide in me and watch as the impossible becomes inevitable. You've questioned your qualifications. You've feared the cost. You've wondered if you missed your window. But listen to me, beloved. You are not late. You are right on time. You have not missed it. You have been marked for it. I do not anoint people. I do not intend to send. And I do not send without covering them fully. There will be resistance. The enemy knows what's coming. That's why he's tried to exhaust you, confuse you, distract you. But greater is the one within you than the voices around you. You will not be shaken. You will not fall. Even when you stumble, my mercy will catch you. Even when you are tired, my strength will fill you. This work is not yours to finish, it's mine, and I finish what I start. So lift your head, steady your hands, clarify your heart. You are not just someone carrying a vision, you are someone heaven trusts to carry the weight of my glory. And that is no small thing. I've placed eternity within you, and through your obedience, eternity will echo into the lives of many. Let the flame rise. Let the work grow. Let the kingdom come through you. You believed you were merely tired, worn down by the routine of your days. But I, the Lord, see deeper. I see how subtle chains have wrapped around your spirit, chains not forged in fire but in silence. The enemy does not always strike loudly. Sometimes he whispers just enough to confuse your direction. My beloved, this is not weakness, you feel it is war. And I have come to awaken you. You were never meant to survive in shadows. You were born to stand in light. You were not created to simply breathe through another day. I formed you to speak with boldness, to walk in purpose, to rise in glory. But when you begin to think that survival is enough, you forget the call I placed inside your bones. You forget the fire I lit when I first whispered your name. The enemy tried to smother that fire with disappointment, delay, and fear. He used quiet discouragement like a slow poison, hoping you wouldn't notice that your prayers lost their edge, that your praise grew softer, that your vision blurred with time. But I, the Lord, do not slumber. I have been watching. I have seen every moment your hands dropped, every time your knees buckled, and still I held you. Even now I am breathing into the embers. I am rekindling what seemed gone. You will not be left in the fog. I will bring clarity. I will show you what is truly from me and what is counterfeit. I will reveal where you've been led astray, not to shame you, but to restore you. Because restoration is always my plan, never condemnation. I didn't choose you because you were flawless. I chose you because you were mine. Listen to me. Now you must stop making peace with what has drained you. Do not befriend what breaks you slowly. Stop negotiating with the lies. You were not called to manage bondage. You were called to walk in freedom. The enemy may have convinced you that some chains are just part of life, but I say to you, I never designed your heart to carry what crushes it. I never asked you to adapt to sorrow, to normalize despair, or to decorate the prison walls of your past. I came to tear them down. You must no longer say, maybe this is just how things are. That is not faith, it is resignation. And I have not resigned from your life. I am still invested, still working, still moving, still here. Lift your head, lift your spirit, take back your vision. I, the Lord, am shifting your atmosphere. Even now in this moment, I am sending my light into the very places you thought were permanently dimmed. This is the hour to discern what is holy and what is harmful. This is the moment to see clearly. So I say again, I will open your eyes not just to what has harmed you, but to what has been promised to you. You are not defeated, you are being awakened. And once your eyes are open, you will not go back to blindness again. Enough of wandering through shadows and hoping for scraps of peace. I, the Lord, am standing now at the threshold of your spirit, declaring an end to the dominion of fear and confusion over your life. There is no more time to doubt what I have spoken, no more bargaining with darkness, no more tolerating cycles of defeat. You have heard me speak, you have felt my tug, and now I am putting my seal on this season. What I have begun in you I will bring to completion, not someday, but now. Not in theory, but in truth. I am closing every door that led to death and unlocking every path that leads to life. You must not look back. This is the moment when you bury the lies with your own hands. Every voice that told you that you're too broken, too late, too far gone, bring it to me. Every memory that still makes your chest tighten, bring it to me. Every fear that wakes you in the night, I want it. Give it all to me now. Because when I said I wanted your whole heart, I didn't mean the parts that look clean. I meant the ache, the mess, the silence, the questions. I want the pieces you were too ashamed to name. I want the thoughts you never dared speak. Nothing scares me away. I am still the God who walked into the tombs of the demon-possessed. I am still the one who reached into the tomb of Lazarus and shouted, "Come out." So now I stand before your life and I say, come forth, be free. You are not cursed. You are chosen. You are not stuck. You are standing on the edge of breakthrough. But hear me, breakthrough does not begin with feelings. It begins with obedience. And I am calling you to step forward even if the ground trembles beneath you, even if your knees shake, even if your tears fall. Do it anyway. Walk with me anyway. Trust me anyway. I have gone before you, and I will be your rear guard. The winds may rage, but they will not destroy you. The fire may rise, but it will refine, not consume. You will live and not die. You will walk and not faint. Because my breath is in your lungs and my word is your foundation. I have drawn the line. I have set the time. And I declare to you now, you are stepping into the land I promised. You are not alone. I am not distant. I am not silent. I am. That name has not changed. That name has not weakened. That name still breaks chains, still raises the dead, still heals the brokenhearted. And I speak that name over you now, Yahweh, the God who sees, the God who fights, the God who finishes what he starts. You are mine. And nothing, not height nor depth, nor any created thing, will separate you from my love. Rest in this truth. My child, I am not done. I am just beginning. So open your hands, let go of what was, and prepare your heart for what is coming. For I, the Lord, am about to move, and this time you will not miss it. Still your heart. Take a deep breath. You don't need to come with perfect words, only with an open spirit. The Lord has spoken. His word has gone forth like a fire, and now he waits for your response. This is not a moment to analyze or delay. This is a holy invitation. Right here, right now. Enter in, not as a stranger approaching a distant throne, but as a beloved child drawing near to the heartbeat of your Father. You are welcome here. You are safe here. You are seen. If your heart is heavy, let it be heavy in his presence. If your eyes are tired, let them close in trust. You don't have to carry any of it alone anymore. God is here, not the idea of him, not the memory of him, but the living, breathing, present I am. He is leaning in, he is listening, and he knows what you don't have words to say. So speak as you are. No rehearsed lines, no filters. Just honesty, just surrender. Whisper if you must, cry if you must, breathe if that's all you can do. That is enough. He receives it all. And now as we begin to pray, say this slowly, not just with your mouth, but with your spirit wide open. Father, I come. I don't come because I have it all figured out. I don't come because I've been strong. I come because you called me. I come because I heard your voice through the storm. I come because you said I'm yours. I lay down every weight. I let go of everything that has tried to define me apart from you. I break agreement with fear. I renounce every lie I've believed. I let go of control, shame, regret, and every shadow that has lingered too long in my soul. I want to be free, not just inspired. I want to be transformed, not just comforted. So I open the door of my heart and I say, come in, Lord. Be everything. Take everything. Change everything. I give you access. Remain here in this stillness for a moment. Let these words settle like oil over your wounds. Let them echo past your defenses. This is not a ritual. This is covenant. This is communion. This is the beginning of something holy, something new, something eternal. I bring you the thoughts that torment me in silence, the worries I mask with smiles, the fears I bury under busyness. I bring you the disappointment I've tried to ignore, the prayers I whispered once but didn't dare repeat. You know them all. You saw me when I felt forgotten. You listened when no one else stayed. So now in the quiet of this moment, I give you permission to touch what I've kept hidden. Go deeper than the surface, Lord. Break the walls I built to survive. Tear down the pride that kept me distant. Reach into the places I thought you would never want to enter and redeem them. I confess I have doubted. I have tried to do it all in my own strength. I have made idols of control, of comfort, of clarity. I have held on to offense like a shield and called it protection. I have trusted my own voice above yours. But today I turn. I lay it down. I release my grip on the illusion of safety and I run toward the one who is truly my refuge. You, Lord, only you. Speak to me again. Let me hear your voice, not the echo of my past, not the chatter of fear, but the still, holy voice that calms the sea inside my chest. Tell me who I am again. Remind me that I am chosen, not forsaken, redeemed, not ruined, restored, not rejected. Wash away the words that others have spoken over me that didn't come from your heart. Erase the labels, uproot the shame, and plant truth, pure, holy, eternal truth. I am yours. I have always been yours. Even when I wandered, even when I resisted, even when I ran, you pursued me. You preserved me. You never let go. And now I come back, not to where I used to be, but to where you've always been. Thank you for not giving up on me. Thank you for seeing what I couldn't see in myself. Thank you for loving me through every failure, every delay, every storm. I don't deserve this grace, but I receive it. I receive it now, fully, freely, with hands open and heart surrendered. I do not want to return to the person I was before you awakened me. I do not want to carry yesterday into the promise of tomorrow. I want to walk in the newness you spoke over me. So I ask you now, order my steps, light my path, direct my decisions. I will no longer move out of fear or pressure. I will move by your Spirit. I don't want to be guided by emotion. I want to be guided by truth. Let your word be the lamp beneath my feet and the fire within my bones. Create in me a clean heart, O God. Purify the motives I didn't even know were broken. Align my dreams with heaven's rhythm. Place in me a hunger for righteousness that surpasses my appetite for comfort. Teach me to crave obedience more than applause, to choose the narrow road even when it's unseen, to wait in faith even when answers don't come quickly. Refine me until I resemble your Son. Cut away what cannot stay. Strengthen what must remain. And as I walk forward, clothe me in discernment. Let me not be fooled by distractions dressed as blessings. Guard my spirit from the counterfeit. Help me to recognize your voice clearly even when it's not the loudest, even when the path is unfamiliar. I want your peace, not man's approval. I want your presence, not empty routines. Lead me into rooms you've prepared for me, into assignments you've equipped me for, into relationships that reflect your kingdom. I surrender my timeline, Lord. I surrender my striving. I surrender the how and the when and choose to trust the great I am. Let your will unfold in my life like a scroll written in fire. Seal this prayer with your power. Let what has been spoken in secret bloom in the light. And let my life echo one sound, Amen, Lord. Have your way. Amen.